Not vintage, not rare, not old, not long ago, but very early. Who searches on very early? Now with this video today, I have a lot of things to go through. The first thing I'm going to go through is what sold. I have some special things to show today. We had 17 cards for $122 on eBay. Now 9 of these cards are from that private collection that I purchased 6 months ago, and I did an update, a 6-month update on it. But a gentleman bought 9 cards from album 2, and the total that he paid was $85. And I'll go through each one of the cards and tell you what they sold for. Then Etsy, I had a big sale too. For one person, 6 cards for $40. So total for today is $162 or 23 cards. So that was just overnight. You never know when people are shopping and picking things up and putting them in their carts or whatever, and then the next morning you have a bigger order to ship out. So I'll go through those. It'll take a little bit longer, but I think you'll get something out of it to see what each one of these cards sold. The special private collection ones did sell over my minimum price. Then I have a special type of postcard. It's an older postcard. It's private mailing cards. It's when postcards first started off, the regulations, the laws. So I'll get into some of those things. But there's a reason there's private mailing card and the Congress thing that's on these cards. Give you some insight on those. Then I'll go through the pricing. And I'm going to add to today sell-through rate of the card. What is the sell-through rate? Now talk about how you can calculate that so you can see what the sell-through rate for different cards are, to give you a better idea, because the pricing is so much all over the place from low to high. This is another tool that I use to calculate if it's worth picking up and if they do sell. It's not scientific. It's kind of just another piece of data that the best I can get out of eBay. And then I have an update on the stats, the percentage of cards sold per month. I showed a significant drop from March all the way down to July. And then what day of the week is the best to sell postcards in my store? It's still holding at a certain level. We'll go through those stats instead of a poll this week. And then I got 3 viewer comments. And one of them is, it's hard to make a profit selling postcards and reselling. We'll talk about that at the end, so make sure you stick around. But let me get started on the what solds. Like I said, it's going to take a little bit longer, but I'll go ahead and knock them out pretty quick in the front here. The ones that sold on eBay that were not part of that private collection, this one is a bridge in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. It looks like a white border, but it's a chrome card, as you can see it glisten. Unposted, $4.55. Sold the sunset in the desert. Desert always sells. Make sure you get that in the title. Unposted, Arizona desert. This was out of a coupon book or something, postcard book, because it's got a perforation. They ripped it out. No problem selling those. Next one is gathering pine gum in Georgia. And on there, some guy cutting some pine gum on a tree. He's cutting a tree and I sold it for $4.55. Next one is a pizza guy. This was a 2-card order. Julia Sturgis Pretzel House, or this is pretzel, not pizza. Pretzels. Crumb card, $4.55. Same person bought the train, the Dakota Railway, A-B-A FOs. That's a train. Nice solid cardstock, well done card. Then I sold a naval cancellation cover, one of these, and that has the ship that he's looking for right up there. This will go eBay standard envelope now, and for 2 ounces, because I put it in a bigger envelope than the white ones. They don't quite fit. They'll stretch a little bit, but that'll go eBay standard envelope. As a couple months ago I found out I could ship those there. This is Elliott Park Snowing Asbury Hospital. Hospitals. The older divided back card on there. That sold for $4.55. And then just a single card sold out of that private collection. And this is the Hudson River, Bannerman's Island, Hudson River, New Jersey, white border card. And this sold for $9.55. That card right there, unposted, Bannerman's Island, sold for $9.55. Now let me get into the private collection. I got little stickers here. So I sold 9 cards to one gentleman or person, buyer, from the private collection in album. They're all from album 2. And if you haven't seen that playlist, go ahead and check it out. I go through all 8 albums and I comp each card, and then I tell you what I sold it for, and then what each album I listed for, and what I bought them for, the whole works. But 9 cards for $85, and I have a volume discount, so if you buy 3 or more cards, you get 15% off. And I always say, try to get them to buy more cards. So we had one person buy 2 cards, we have this person buying 9 cards, and on Etsy I got someone buying 6 cards. They had a $12.75 discount, so the total order comes to $78 for 9 cards. So let's take a look at each one. And I got stickers on each one to let you know what it sold for. This one sold for $9.55. It is the Main Street Looking East, Wappinger Falls, New York, right there. It's a divided back card, 1910 posted, $9.55 for that card. This one sold for $10.55. This is another East Main Street, Wappingers Falls, New York. It's a white border card, 1934, I think it is. Right there. And that sold for $10.55. Next one sold for $8.55. This is the Upper Dam and Lake, Wappingers Falls, New York. 1907 postmark. Just waterfalls in Wappingers, New York. Next one sold for $8.55. This is the Wappingers Falls from Bridge, Wappinger Falls again. $8.55 for that card, 1908 posted, divided back card. Next one is $8.55. Lower Dam and Bridge, Wappingers Falls, New York. So he's on a kick. Wappingers Falls, getting above standard. Divided back card. Posted. $8.55. This card sold for $10.55. This is Main Street, Wappingers Falls. So if you see Main Street, Wappingers Falls, we got 3 cards around $9 to $10. And this is 1910. Divided back card. Next one is $9.50. Sold for $9.55. This is Main Street, Wappingers Falls, New York. Sold for $9.55. Main Street, $9.55. This one sold for $12.55. This is The Bridge, Wappingers Falls, New York. This posted in, doesn't say, but it is a posted divided back card, and $12.55. And the last one that this gentleman or buyer bought, again, was Lake and Dam, Wappingers Falls, New York. Unposted divided back card, $6.55. So total 9 cards, $85 with the discount, came to $78 for that private collection in AB2. And AB2 I'm already in the green on. So, but make sure you check out this here and learn about Catskill Mountains cards and Wappingers Falls. They are above average cards in that albums. And I had an update come out before this video published to go over how I'm doing on a 6-month update. Now the next multiple orders was on Etsy. This was 6 cards. Now the first one sold for $4.65. Now Etsy I started at $4.65 because of the fees and stuff. This is Dogwood Blooms. Dogwood always for some reason sells. Just flowers. $4.65. Next one is a Conservatory of Flowers. So this person's a flower. Easter display, Eden Park Conservatory, Cincinnati, Ohio. $4.65. Next one sold for $4.65. This is the Ozarks. Is anybody Ozarks? Next one is $4.65. This is some kind of mural somewhere, and I can't say the name of it. That's the name right there. But it's a mural. $4.65. This one sold for $4.65, and this is a Altar Lights Alexandria Lodge. This is a Masonic type deal. Just a picture of that. It's an older divided back card. I can just feel the look of it. $4.65. This one sold for $6.65. This card was listed February 29th, 2020 is when I listed that card. This is an anomaly for me. I never hardly ever sell these cards. This is Easter Greetings. It's got some embossing, some gold on there, coloring stuff, foil-like thing. So this sold for $6.65 on Etsy. That was surprising on there. So the total I had was 23 cards and $162 total gross sales. By the time they take fees out and everything like that, it was not a bad overnight sales at all. But that's what's sold in the variety. So Wet Fingers Falls and Catskills on there is a good buy. Now let me get into the special topic of private mailing cards. Now I kind of skipped over in the other videos I did. I didn't get into these. I don't do a lot of these. They are not fast movers, as you'll see through the sell-through rate when I get to it. When I get them, I put them in a stack. I haven't listed them in a few years. Maybe they'll sneak through, but I don't think I got too many of these in the store. But while I do this, I'll show you some examples of private mailing cards. The private mailing card era is from 1898 to 1901. Congress does the law, it starts. Congress rescinds the laws, it ends. So 1898, the law was passed. 1901, the law ends. In 1898, Congress passed a law that allowed private companies to officially make postcards. The private companies' postcards were required to have the term private mailing card authorized by the Act of Congress May 19, 1898 on them. That's why you see all that stuff on there, a private mailing card authorized by the Act of Congress of May 19, 1898. You'll see that right on the card, all that information. Before this law, privately printed cards, postcards, had the terms correspondence card, mail card, or souvenir card on them. The only card that could still have postcard during that time on them was the government produced ones. So the government could use postcard, but they didn't allow anybody else. And the law passed where they had to put private mailing card on there. The reason for this change was to distinguish government produced postcards from privately produced ones. This act allowed the private companies' postcards to be mailed at the same price as the government issued ones of 1 cent, where before government cards mailing was 1 cent and any private mailing postcards through the post office was 2 cents. So now they're competitively matched between the government and the private cards of 1 cent. This law was rescinded in 1901, and the word postcard now replaced the private mailing card previously required. So like undivided back postcards, on these private mailing cards, only the address was allowed on the back. Some private mailing cards had posto carte postali. I think that's how you say it. I'll put it right down here at the bottom. I probably butchered that pretty good. On them also, stating it could be sent through the International Postal System. And I think I got some examples I showed you with that on there. And I have read that the 1898 law also stated that private mailing cards had a measurement of 3 1/4 by 5 1/2 inches. Not 3 1/2 by 5 1/2, which are standard postcards today. It's 3 1/4 by 5 1/2. So they're going to be a little not as tall on there. But that's what I read with the law. So as you look through, you see these private mailing cards, a lot of people say, wow, these are really old, these are worth a lot. Well, let me level set you here on what it is. Now, one of the things is I usually do is I go through the pricing of sold high, sold low, list high. But I wanted to introduce a little something different, and it's sell-through rate. Now, the calculation for sell-through rate, and I'll put it right down here, is you take your solds divided by what you have listed in a certain amount of time, times 100, it will give you a sell-through rate. So even if you have shoes, Nike Air Max shoes, you can put a certain number in, and eBay at the top is just put Nike Air Max shoes. eBay is going to tell you how many are listed, and then you click on solds, and it'll tell you how many are sold. So you get those two numbers. Take the solds divided by the number of listed times 100, it will give you a percent. Now, what is a good percent? Well, you got to compare it to a few other things. So postcard mailing cards, or private mailing cards, when I did this calculation, there was 7,600 listed when I did it on eBay. Now, this isn't scientific. They're not showing me everything because it says 7,600 plus. But I just used the 7,600 when I do this. Solds were only 477. So listed was 7,600, but solds were 477. So you take 477 divided by 7,600 times 100, you get a 6% sell-through rate. Now that doesn't mean anything to anybody because they don't have anything to compare it to. So let me show you this little chart here of a few things that I keep track of. So if I go in eBay and I put postcard space Nevada, there's 18,000 listed, 1,900 sold, 11% sell-through rate. Postcard space Indiana in the title. Any postcard that finds postcard Indiana in the title, there's 42,000 listed, 3,300 sold, 8% sell-through rate. Postcard space Texas in the title, 28,000 listed, 2,000 sold, 7%. And then one of the lowest ones is Postcard, New Hampshire. 51,000 postcards listed, 2,100 sold, 4%. So where, now this level sets you in where private mailing cards fall. So one of the highest ones is Nevada, 11%, and the lowest is 4%, and private mailing cards are 6%. So this is an average card. It falls right in the middle pretty much. And I thought I would bring this up on the solds because it gives you an idea. Yeah, the prices might be high, but it might take forever to sell. And this is a little gauge to help determine what sells good. And you can take any phrase. I put in the phrase postcard space US space naval space ships. So anything that captures that title, whatever eBay sees in there, and it came back on the naval ships of a 26% sell-through rate. So now you see why I look for naval cards, naval ship cards. It's got a 26% sell-through rate at the time I did this in eBay, and I think it's a running 90-day total in eBay. It's not scientific, it's just a little gauge to set yourself. Now, as you've seen the video for QSL cards, those radio cards that I don't do, that has a 3% sell-through rate. That's why I don't pick them up. 3% for those QSL radio cards. Naval ships 26%, Nevada 11%, private mailing cards 6%. So here's the calculation again. Sold divided by listed times 100 will give you the sell-through rate. So keep track of what's out there, and just go in and just type it into the title and just put these calculations on a spreadsheet or whatever, and just list and kind of get a gauge what it is. So that's sell-through rate. Any questions, let me know. Now, as I went through the pricing of these things, as I usually do, I found some extreme pricings again. So I created a category in this video called extreme pricing. Here's one. $18.99 Postcard Canada, very rare, not rare. Now this is very rare, one of a kind, very rare, one of a kind, $9,000 or best offer, $9,000. Next one I found that was extreme pricing, vintage private mailing card, Act in 1898 with 1 cent B Franklin stamp. I don't know anything about stamps, so is that worth $4,000 because it has a 1B Franklin stamp on it? Is this card worth that? There's 11 watchers on it, so there might be something with that stamp. If anybody knows stamps, let me know if that's what this thing would go for. But you can take these titles and go to eBay and just put them in there. You can take a look at the descriptions and get a little more information about them. But $4,000, just between two cards, that's $13,000. Wow. Other one here, it doesn't say anything in the title about private mailing card. It's President McKinley and Ida pre-assassination rare framed postcard, 1901. And let me show you the back of it. This says private mailing card on the back, $2,700. I'm not a historian, so I can't say this is wrong, but that's a lot of money for a card. And being framed, I don't think really helps anything. It helps protect it, but yeah, look at that private mailing card on this one, $2,700. So you had a $9,000 one, a $4,000 one, and $2,700. That's above my pay grade. But let's get into the normal average cards. So those are the highs I usually throw out, and I usually throw out the 99-cent auction ones too. So I kind of get into the average stuff that I do every day. So we're going to go through the sold high and the sold low first, and then the list high and list low. That'll give you a well-rounded. We've seen the top part. Now we're going to get into what pays the bills. What can I flip these things for? So here's 3 cards I found, private mailing cards for sold high. What has sold high? And eBay gives you information for 90 days. So this is $90 for a 1903 Transcolon via New York to Hamburg private mailing card postcard. $90. Plus they got $17.50 for shipping. So they got over $100 for that card. Some of these might have some money to them. The next one is Bird's Eye View, Houston, Texas. PMC rare. Antique private mailing card postcard. $90.89, 4 bids, and $5 shipping. So they got basically $95 for this postcard in an auction. So they knew there was something there. Next one was Cincinnati, Ohio, 1898 private mailing card. GAR. This is a GAR. Check out my GAR video on what GAR is, the Grand Army of the Republic. I don't do a lot of them, but this sold for $79 plus $2 shipping, so $80. So you got 3 of them here for for $89. And then we go into sold low. Got 3 here. I think total up together is under $5. You got private mailing card, New York City, Manhattan, circa 1903, City Hall Park, undivided. Of course it's undivided. It's before undivided back. 135, but it's really not undivided. It's just that the address, it's a private mailing card, is where the error that falls into. So 135 is all it got. All they got for it, plus $1.15 shipping, so they got $4 for that. And that was a buy it now. Monterey, California, Hotel Del Monte, Clubhouse, private mailing card, posted 1903, $1.25. $1.25 shipping, so $2.50. Ain't much left. Albany, New York, if any. Albany, New York, the capital, very early. Not vintage, not rare, not old, not long ago, but very early. Who searches on very early? Private mailing card, postmark 1902. 99 cents, $1.75 shipping. There ain't nothing left there. You go from $90 cards down to dollar cards. So you just got to look at the subject. What's selling these cards is the subject, and what's on there and how they display them, and put the titles in there. It's just extreme. And then you got the $9,000 one. The price is, the sky's the limit on some of them, and the basement's the lowest. Then let's go through and see what these people got these listed. Now I don't know a lot of the history and stuff, so I can't confirm some of these, but some of them I would pass on after seeing what I saw in the average of the solds. This one is Norfolk Sea-Tech Life Saving Station, private mailing card, Virginia, 1898. Has been stamped. I don't know what it means by stamped. 1898 stamp. $89. $90 plus $2 shipping. Now, Life Saving Station, those do well. This could be a good card. It could be up there after we saw that $90 one. So that's a nice setup. He's got both the front and the back right in the first photo. You can do that, or you can put single ones and then separate them. I've seen it done both ways. I don't think there's a right or wrong, because they can zoom in on them and see it all together. My scanner, I just do front and back and separate pictures because it's in the scanner. 1900, Wimico Harbor, Salisbury, Maryland. Private mailing cards, boats, fishermen. So they're using some key words in there to try to get some searches. $75. Is it worth it? Maybe someone likes fishermen. Vintage private mailing card, 1898 with 1 cent B Franklin. What's with this Franklin 1B stamp? Anybody know? I'm not a stamp person, so let me know what 1B Franklin stamp is. And is it in the condition? This one's got a cancel over the stamp. I thought that was bad. $99. Is it because of the stamp? Does someone think that that's worth it? Is it worth it? I don't know. The $99. That's what they got these things listed for. Then we get into listed low. It just tanks the market. Hanover, Maine, Theological Seminary, private mailing card, postmark 1902, $1.25. People can see the postmark, guys, on the postcard. $1.25 and $2.50. We just saw these other ones for $90. Way big spread. Next one is a lake, private mailing card, postmark 1903, $1.75, 90 shipped. So $3, unused. Postcard, Sanitarium Hotel, Banff, Albert, Canada. This is a sanitarium. If it's an asylum and stuff like that, they're losing money. Those things sell. If you put the right titles in and get to the right groups and put the right price, you're going to get money for those criminally insane asylums, those sanitariums, different things like that. Some people do collect these. Now, this one being Canada, I've never sold one from Canada. Most of what I've sold for has been in the States. But it should be no reason. Those are neat cards. I've always done well with those types of cards. At $3.49, plus they give it 30% off at $4. Change the price. Are they just clearing it out? And they got free shipping. There's nothing going to be left there. You can raise the price on that one, I believe, unless there's something really damaged on it or whatever. But these are the pricings that you got to watch for. And the reason I bring these up, I just want to show you the extremes. People say, well, why do you sell them for this? Why do you sell them for that? And as you just saw in that private collection I did, I sold a lot of cards above my $4.55 base because I comped them a little bit in that as I went through that process, and I got a little bit more money for them. I think there was a $12 card in there. Now I don't do a lot of the $100 cards and stuff like that. You won't see a lot of those from me. My niche is from divided back down to current chrome, and not really continentals, not birthdays and stuff like that, and not a lot of Halloween or any of that stuff. I like to divide it back to chrome. It's been a niche that I've been really working on, and I do well with. A lot of these other guys, they'll get out there and find one card and research it for days, like this people that sold these things for $90. It's well worth it to them. So it's whatever you make of your business and how you want to do it. You can probably go in my store and find a card that's worth a lot more money than what I put out there. And I'm okay with that because I'm getting my margin, and it gets it to someone that values you. Shop at the store. You might find something. But that's private mailing cards. Act of Congress, 1898. If you see them, now you have a little idea of what they are. If they're really good, I usually do stop and look at them, but there's a lot of plain ones out there. There's nothing to them. And if it check the back for private mailing card, and you want to dig a little bit more information in that, because some things say different things on the back of cards in those days. It was kind of like Wild Wild West when all this came out. Private mailing cards. Who knew? Now, instead of a poll from my community tab, I try to bring up every month what the stats are for the year on percentages. And the first one I usually show is percentage of cards sold, not dollars, because dollars can throw it off big time, but I track how many cards per day that I sell, and then I track it by month. Throughout the year, what percentage of what month did my cards sell in? And as you can see here, January started off about 15%, March it reached up to about 17%, and wham! In April I dropped 5% right down to 13%. And then it stayed around there, 13, 12, but then my last month was my worst month of the year so far in the number of cards sold. Not dollars, number of cards. That hit 11%. And I felt it too. I felt a little bit in the dollars, but I had a little higher average sell-to price or sale price, so it kind of offset it a little bit. But 11%, so from 17% to 11% drop over 4 months. So a 6% drop down in there. That has something to do with what they call summer slowdown, recession, whatever's going on. But it's just, I think it's just what it is. Now the history says it should go back up a little bit, then we have a little drop in October, then it goes back to normal, about 15%. So I'm hoping I'm going to level out about 15% average for the year of my cards throughout the month. But it's not as an extreme drop as some other things, like maybe in clothing or some home goods and stuff like that. I don't track that, and I don't track toys here, but this is what the postcards are doing to me. This is actual data of what it's doing. So I've had a drop. So there is a drop going on in my store. Now your store could be going up. You're listing a lot of cards, you got a lot of better stock on there. This just gives you a baseline to say, well, Mark, yeah, I dropped 10%, Mark dropped 7%. Okay, we're in the ballpark. Now if you say I dropped 50%, Mark dropped 7%, you say, well, yeah, there's something going on here. Am I managing my stuff right? Do I got better cards? Am I priced too high? It just gives you a place to start look at. Now let's look at what day of the week do most people buy postcards from my store. I've been tracking this since January 1st. It's still Wednesday. Wednesday and Thursday are my best days of the week. So middle of the week is when most people are buying cards, the number of cards from me. And then Sunday and Saturday and Sunday. So Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday. How I would use this, if I wanted to send out a coupon, do a sale, whatever, maybe I try to beef up Sunday through Tuesday, stop it, because people are buying on Wednesday and Thursday full price, so leave it there. So there's a whole bunch of stuff you can do with this. But I think Kelly said his are Monday and Tuesday, his best days. Mine's Wednesday and Thursday. So, but I just like to know these numbers on there. And I do track them every morning. But that's the stats, and I'll try to keep it going. And as you see with the month one here, I do have a little bit of August in there. So I do wait and make sure I get all the numbers in before I do it. But I'm already 2% in August. I'm not doing too bad. So we'll see how August does. But that's the stats. And you'll see that through these videos throughout. Usually the first couple weeks of the next month is when you'll see those. Now we're going to get into viewer comments. These comments come from everywhere. Emails, YouTube, eBay, whatever. I just grab them and put them out there. Now the first one came from Julie Norman. Julie has a YouTube channel that she does postcards on. She sells postcards and ephemera. Julie says, always an interesting and educational show. Thanks, Julie. I try to do that. She calls me the Mr. Rogers of postcards. And I haven't got a sweater or shoes yet, but I'm working on it. Welcome to my neighborhood. Postcards. So, always an interesting and educational show. I used to do free shipping, but now charge $1 for shipping, which covers shipping, envelope, and the like. And this is part of the video I think I did about breaking down the cost of a postcard. No one complained when I started to charge shipping, so it brings down my cost. Yeah, I've seen that, and I'm on the fence on it so far. I've been sticking the price into the card and free shipping, and I haven't had a problem, but I've been contemplating on doing what Julie's doing. If the prices next year continue to go up, I'm going to have to do something, because I got to pass those costs on to the consumer. I can't absorb everything. And so that's what Julie did. She couldn't absorb it anymore, so she put it there, and it hasn't affected her sales. I think it's a viable option. But thanks again, Julie, for supporting the channel and watching and commenting. Brandon B says, oh, I'm surprised by the sold prices. I don't think I'll be listing mine though. And this is on those pull-out postcards. But Brandon is talking about those pull-out postcards. They're a little thicker postcards because they have the pull-out, so they're like 2 or 3 ply, and they pull out. One of the things I didn't talk about, he talked about, and this is what I like about everybody commenting. He said, I am surprised by the sold prices of those. Yes, I was too. I will take a different look at them. I don't think I'll be listing mine though. It just takes too long for me to list them properly. Similar to the cards with Mike, unless the image is exceptional, I'd rather just throw them on the top of the lots I take to auction. Yeah, he has a way like I do with flea markets. But what it is also is going through the scanner. Those are, you got to help them through the scanner, and sometimes they're too thick to go through the scanner. You don't want to break your scanner for those, so you might have to take a picture. So I did comment, oh, I forgot about saying, watch the scanning of these, because you could rip them, it could pull the tab off, or it might be too thick. That's his way of doing it, so everybody does it a little differently, and that's fine. There's no right or wrong. It's whatever gets you the sales and whatever a best practice is for you, as long as you got a system and you're consistent with it. Consistency in eBay, Etsy, YouTube, it will reward you. So thanks, Brandon. Thanks, Julie. I'm new to reselling and appreciate the cost breakdown you did. That's where that video did. I kind of went down with some numbers and said this is what the envelope costs, this is the percentage and stuff like that, so people get an idea. When I'm at my level, I'm working with nickel and dimes. I'm not working on a $100 bread machine or $10. You work with tens of dollars. I have to look at nickel and dimes, because that will throw a percentage off, and I sell quantity. I go after quantity. We divide it back to chrome. So I'm not at the 99-cent auction guys or $1 shipping. I'm up a little bit about that. So every dime, every nickel can add up over time. But he says, I'm new to reselling and appreciate the cost breakdown he did. Seems like it can be hard to make a profit in reselling. It can be. It can be very lucrative too. You could find a 10-cent postcard and sell it for $100. Those are few and far between for some people. And people get hooked on that, and they go out and that's all they look for. I look for the average cards, and as I'm doing, I might stumble on some of those cards, a button face card or stuff like that, or a very rare card that I know of that is in $1 or $2 or quarter box that I pull out and I'm going to make my money on. Most of the time, if I buy 10 cards, 2 cards out of the 10 probably pay for the whole deal. I bought 50 cards the other day. 3 cards out of the whole thing is going to pay for the whole deal when I list them. Now I bought 20 cards. It took 10 cards to pay for the whole deal on there. So, but making a profit on reselling is not bad. The biggest place that people lose it is when they buy it, and also their expenses. They're spending way too much time with them, or they're using too much material, or they're wasting money on stuff they shouldn't be. Your expenses is where it goes. And if you price it too high, then your sales go down. If you price it too low, you don't make the money. So you got to find the sweet spot, the average that's going to sell the card, but also put money in your pocket for your time. And that's difficult, and as the times change, people jump prices up and down chasing the hills and valley. I stay at a steady thing, and I let it go for 6 months. That's what I'm doing, and that's a trend. If I do it just for 2 days and it didn't work, 2-3 days, then jumping around a hamster wheel. I don't want to be on that hamster wheel. I don't want to be on a schedule. I don't want to manage my store in that way. I want to get the best price out there for there. I don't put stuff in my store for $10 and automatically put a 20% sale on it right away. I just take that price that I would have done and put it there. And then I'll run a sale every so often for 2 days over a weekend just to get new people into the store. But my best price is out there. I don't do best offer on everything. I do send offers, 10% offers. That's great. And I'll get sales on that. But I put my best price that I know that I'm going to make money. I pay myself first, and the customer gets a good deal as well. But remember, with private mailing cards, they're like the undivided back, but it's a separate era. It's private mailing card, and there's undivided back, and then divided back, down. Undivided back, you can only put the address on the back. You couldn't put a message, so you had writing tabs or they had blank in the front, and that's what they did with private mailing cards. It was the Wild Wild West back when that all started. But if you want to learn more about undivided backs, check this video out here that I'm showing, and it'll explain a little bit more about undivided back. But thanks for watching, and that's all I got for today. Good luck out there, and thanks.